use the soft brush. I'm erasing it because that area is gonna be in shadow, which is caused by the upper mushroom sort of structure. Let's take another copy of that and make it look like the mountain is curving. That is too much blurry, so let's sharpen it a little bit. I think this is fine. Okay. Collapse the layer. Let's take this rock again and use it somewhere else. Adjusting the values. Just by making this smaller, you can see the sense of depth in the whole painting. It seems huge environment, extremely huge. Let's take some selection and do some adjustments. All I'm trying to replicate the same design language which I've just used. I don't have to use the photo for these parts, these smaller parts. I can just simply paint with a flat brush. This is just to harmonize everything and make it look like everything fits in an environment. Everything belongs to each other, to the same design language in this environment. Alright, I'm now giving some atmosphere to the background mountains, creating the feel of a misty environment just by using plain simple gradient tool, and now using a smoke and cloud brush to add some variation of mist. Sometimes the mist, sometimes it's uneven, and there are patches, and at places there are dense mist, and at different areas the mist is very thin. So it could be mist or it could be smoke. You can create any effect. So yeah. As I said before, that the variation is good as long as the variation is not overly used, otherwise it becomes chaotic, right? So I'm selecting this area so that it looks like it's further going behind and separating some areas even in the background mountains. Creating some mist again in this area. I'm trying to create some moody effect. And this mist is the reason that the sun is not affecting the lighting that much. Alright, so let's work on the foreground. Take the duplicate of the foreground rock and put it in the back, and just trying to find the better position for this. I think this is fine. Let's take another and make it smaller. Alright, so let's collapse all of these. Okay. It's almost near the end. Just have to add atmosphere and adjust minor things, and then maybe I could add few things like flying ships, like spaceships, or maybe jets going through this canyons type of rocks. I think this mist in the foreground looks cool. Getting rid of the black bars which is on the side. Okay. At this point it's all about seeing as if everything is coming out okay and there is no artifacts, and at this point I can also see how I can change the lighting if I need to, but I don't think that I need to change the lighting in this one because it's pretty fine, and I like it. So it's just all about minor adjustments and adding atmosphere. I always add atmosphere in the end because it because it's very smooth. The painting, the brushes are very smooth, so it is good that it is done in the end when everything is finalized. Otherwise, if you work on top of it, your strokes will show up, and that will make it look messy. I think this mist is creating a nice effect. It's also separating the different forms, creating a sense of depth. Mist is really useful, and we use it a lot in our concepts, in our paintings. Maybe you won't see as much mist in real life, but we use it, and it's super cool to use it. And the most important reason that we use mist is to show the depth. Let's try to take this rock formation and maybe use that, if this can add something new to our existing image. Let's shrink this, make it smaller, and erase some parts of it. Let's make it smaller. I don't need much of this texture, so let's erase most of it, and I only liked some of the highlights, so I'm removing the shadow information and flattening it down. I think that is fine. Flipping the canvas gives you a new perspective. It really changes the way you are used to seeing, and oftentimes you get used to seeing your image the way, and when you flip the image, it looks completely different, and that is amazing. Trying to make everything look sharp and precise. So it's always the best approach to do this overpainting in the end to unify everything. That is fine now. I'm trying to darken the foreground area to create a more moody effect by taking a layer on top and setting it to the darken layer blending mode. These are minor value adjustments, and now using the curves to come up with something really interesting. Also, this most of the time it gives you a different, really different approach from what you have created. It can be helpful, but I would suggest not to overdo it. I think the sky needs some detail in around the horizon area, and that adds a lot in terms of atmosphere. Alright, I'm pretty happy at this point with what I have created, so let's just try to create a jet, a plane going through these canyons, and I think that will create a sense of movement, and it will also give a sense of depth, sense of a scale, and also it will point directly towards the main focal point. So that's a strong composition. Just trying to place it in the best position, using this smoke tool to create the smoke trail which is left by the plane. I think that needs some transformation. And I think adding this plane there increases the drama of this painting and makes it looks that there is some sort of activity going on. So that's also a storytelling element. Adding another plane, just doing doing the same method, replicating it and creating a smoke trail. Let's change the position. I think that's fine, but the plane needs some adjustment, the direction of it, and maybe the size. Alright guys, so this is it, and I hope you have enjoyed this. So we have covered how to take our sketch and how to use correct photos and use them in our sketch in a way that creates depth, that creates believability, and using the photo bashing techniques in a way that does not overpower our work. And we have learned how to control the photos, because the photos has got so much information in it, and how to control the lighting, how to create atmosphere and things like that. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed it. So thanks for being with us, and thanks for watching 3dmotive.com.